Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're trying to figure out something fascinating. Why do people, you, me, everyone, make spending decisions that just seem, well, totally irrational sometimes? We're going deep into the really personal, often emotional side of money. Because if you just look at the numbers, half the ways people spend cash just don't add up logically. We want to understand why it feels right to them.
Yeah, and that feeling of it being right for the individual, that's really the starting point. Our sources are pretty clear on this. There's no single correct way to spend money. No universal rules for financial happiness. What works for you might be, completely wrong for someone else. Your goals could be my nightmare, financially speaking.
That's the core thing, isn't it? These aren't abstract ideas. Our financial habits, our preferences, they're learned from living life. I really like that framing question you sometimes hear. What have you experienced that I haven't that makes you believe what you do? It forces empathy.
It really does.
Yeah.
And applying that to money gives us some solid advice, right? Never judge how someone else spends their money. Because every single choice they make, they learned it somewhere. They learned it from their life. We're all products of our past when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
And to really get that, there's this crucial idea, often used by counselors, social workers too. All behavior makes sense if you have enough information.
That's powerful. And it becomes really clear when you look at, say, more extreme situations, like understanding why someone who grew up in a really unstable environment might struggle with planning later on.
Absolutely. Think about kids in the foster system, for example. They might have trouble focusing on long-term goals, school, waiting for things.
Yeah.
And why? Because their formative years were spent in basically constant survival mode. If today is uncertain, maybe even dangerous, your brain doesn't really wire itself for thinking about next year.
Right. You don't excuse the behavior, but you start to see the root cause. You understand where it comes from.
Yeah.
And that same idea applies to finance, even for people without that kind of extreme trauma. There's a great quote from financial advisor Tim Maurer. He said, "Personal finance is more personal than it is finance. Your spending reflects your history, your family, the economy you grew up in, not just math."
And that's why common sense about money isn't common at all, is it? We think feelings like joy or fear or pride about money are universal. But how we apply those feelings to saving or spending, that's learned. It depends entirely on your background, your culture.
Yeah, the gap between different economic realities can be huge. There's that striking story about the social worker trying to get a poor couple to save just a little bit, basic advice to avoid getting evicted.
Right, and the husband, he just laughed at the social worker.
And what do you call her?
He called him a future thinker.
A future thinker, wow.
Yeah. The husband basically said, look, thinking about the future, that's a luxury you have. We don't.
Yeah.
He said, our future is the next 24 hours. So for them, saving wasn't just hard, it felt irrational. Why save it if someone might take it or some crisis pops up immediately?
So spending it all right now is the rational move in their context because the future, as we might think of it, just didn't feel real or accessible.
It's pure survival mode logic.
Yeah.
You see echoes of that in the story about the public defender's client.
Oh, the one who tried to use Monopoly money.
Yeah, Monopoly money at a restaurant because he was starving. The lawyer called him a Zen master of the right now. The immediate need just completely overrides everything else. Logic, long-term consequences.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
So once you accept that your own common sense is limited by your own life, you stop judging so quickly.
Right. You start asking, okay, what's underneath this spending? What emotional need is being met? What are they trying to fix or make up for?
Speaking of making up for things, let's rewind about a century. The Roaring 20s. That huge boom came right after World War I and a nasty recession, didn't it?
It absolutely did. Years of hardship, feeling poor, being looked down on.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's easier credit, rising incomes.
And people went wild. There was that columnist, Robert Quillen, in 1928.
Oh, yeah, he nailed it. The headline was something like, the more you were snubbed while poor, the more you enjoyed displaying your wealth.
That cuts deep. It wasn't just happy spending, was it? The sources say people were frantically sprinting ahead to make up for lost time.
They were trying to heal an emotional wound. That's the key. The wild spending wasn't about budgeting. It was almost like financial revenge for all those years of feeling suppressed or deprived.
And we still see that exact mechanism today, don't we? That kind of compensation spending.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the businessman who grew up with nothing. His daughter gets into college.
And he insists she picks the most expensive one.
Exactly. He didn't just suggest it, he insisted. The price tag itself was the point.
It wasn't just tuition.
No, it was a social trophy, proof of how far he'd come. The high price served a deep psychological need, silencing that voice from the past that felt inadequate.
But trauma can cut the other way, too. Like people who experience deep poverty and then struggle to spend at all, even when they have money.
Right, that post-traumatic bro syndrome idea.
Yeah.
Tiffany Leach talked about that, how hard it was to actually spend her wealth because the fear of going back was so intense.
So the fear dictates the financial choices more than the current reality.
It's pure trauma response.
Mm-hmm.
Or think about, say, the lawyer or banker working insane hours, totally miserable.
Right, the 100-hour weeks.
Then the bonus hits, and bam,
Yeah.
huge spending, big watch, fancy car, trip they can barely take.
We all know someone like that.
That spending isn't just for fun. It's an attempt to justify the misery, right? To prove to themselves, maybe to others, that the sacrifice was worth it. The sources call it gasping for air after being held underwater. It's not joy, it's this frantic need to compensate.
Which brings us to what people are really chasing with a lot of status spending. It's not just this stuff.
It's the respect, the admiration, the attention. That's what they truly want.
We often think it's about the object, the car, the house.
But it's about the signal the object sends. People believe, consciously or not, that these things are the ticket to being noticed, validated, moving up the social ladder.
And this isn't exactly a new insight. Adam Smith was writing about this way back in 1759.
Yeah, he asked, what's the real goal of chasing wealth and status? It's not just about basic needs or comfort.
No, Smith figured the driving force is to be observed, to be attended to be taken notice of.
He basically said, it's the vanity, not the ease or the pleasure that interests us. We crave the attention more than the actual comfort the stuff provides.
Okay, but if vanity is the driver, why pick material goods? Why is it such a flawed strategy for getting that respect we crave? Why does it fizzle out so fast?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's a useful exercise here, the reverse obituary.
Right. Write down what you actually hope people say about you when you're gone.
Exactly. You'll write things like, loved, respected, kind, funny, helpful, good parent.
And what's never on that list?
Never. Your car's horsepower, the square footage of your house,
Yeah.
your exact salary, or 401k balance.
It's striping because deep down we know that stuff doesn't matter to the people who matter most to us.
So if spending is a strategy for attention, we need to look at how effective it really is. The sources break it down into three things.
Okay, what are they?
First, effectiveness. Sure, spending is fast, it's visible, it gets attention instantly, check.
What's second?
Second, durability. How long does that attention last? It's incredibly low, shockingly low.
Like, I see your fancy new car today, I'm impressed for a day.
Maybe. As the sources say, a month from now I yawn. The shock value fades super quickly. It's fleeting.
Okay, and the third variable. This feels like the important one.
It is. It's who is paying attention? Who are you actually impressing?
Strangers. People you barely know.
Mostly strangers, yeah. Or acquaintances who are easily impressed by surface things. And here's the real kicker.
What's that?
Often, they're admiring the thing, the car, the house, not really you. They're gawking at the object.
Ouch. So the people whose respect you actually want. Your family. Close friends.
They care about your character, right? Kindness, humor, dependability. Not the brand of your watch or the granite countertops. You're playing to the wrong audience with the wrong tools.
So status spending is like junk food for respect.
That's a great way to put it. It's instantly satisfying, feels good for a second, but offers zero real lasting nourishment.
And if you struggle to earn respect through who you are, your kindness, intelligence, humor,
you might default to the easiest, most visible signal, your stuff, even though it's ultimately ineffective for genuine connection.
which maybe explains why some super successful people don't seem to care about flashing wealth. Like Chad Johnson, the football player, or Jeff Bezos driving that old Honda for years.
Right. Their name, their achievement, their reputation, it's already bigger than anything they could buy. They have that intrinsic value, so the need to signal with possessions just isn't there, or it's much lower.
Okay, so this whole cycle of compensation, seeking status, it points to a deeper psychological trap, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're chasing the wrong chemical, essentially. We're chasing dopamine, not lasting happiness.
Those would mean the wanting chemical.
Exactly. It's about anticipation, desire. It always wants more. As the sources put it so well, your brain doesn't really want the fancy car. It wants the dopamine hit of getting the fancy car.
The thrill of the chase, the clicking, buy now, waiting for it. That's often better than actually having it.
Often, yes. Because once you have the thing, the dopamine fades, and your brain immediately asks, okay, what's next? The goalpost always moves.
There's that chart, the value of something idea.
Right. High value before you have it. Lower value when you possess it. Then high value again if you lose it. It's this endless cycle.
You get the $10K car, you start wanting the $100K car, you get that, you want the private jet.
All the way up to billionaires funding research into living forever. There's always something else, something seemingly essential that's still missing.
So if that chase for fleeting happiness is like an addiction cycle, like telling the same joke over and over until it's not funny anymore, what's the alternative? What should we aim for financially?
The alternative is contentment. Real, durable contentment.
And contentment isn't just being passively happy.
No, it's more active than that. It's the deliberate absence of the expectation that things should be better or need to be different than they are right now.
Okay. So contentment is about mastering desire, not just getting more stuff.
Precisely. Which leads us to maybe the most powerful way to think about wealth.
Go on.
We usually think wealth is just about what you have, assets, income, whatever. But a much better definition is the gap between what you have and what you want.
The gap. Okay, that's interesting.
It's critical.
Yeah.
Because you can close that gap in two ways. You can increase what you have, earn more, invest better.
Which is hard and often stressful and sometimes out of our control.
Exactly. Or you can decrease what you want. You can manage your desires. And that part is much more within your control.
Yeah. Desiring less is a strategy you can actually win at.
Yes. And winning that game leads to real, durable contentment, not just fleeting dopamine hits.
There was that example in the sources, the grandmother-in-law.
Oh, perfect example. Lived on a tiny Social Security check. Technically poor, but completely content.
Happy with her garden, her library books.
She was financially poor, but psychologically rich. Why? Because her needs were met and her expectations, her desires were incredibly low. She didn't want much more than she had.
So that gap between having and wanting was tiny, or maybe non-existent.
Which created this huge reserve of psychological wealth. Many people with millions in the bank don't have that.
Yeah.
She had mastered contentment by managing her desires. That's real financial freedom.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive seems to give us two really solid pieces of advice to take away.
Yeah, I think so.
First, don't let anyone else dictate how you should spend your money. Not magazines, not social media, not your neighbor. Figure out what genuinely makes you happy and fulfilled, even if it looks weird on a spreadsheet.
Right. It's your life, your context. Yeah. And second, be really, really careful about judging how other people spend their money.
Go back to that core principle. All behavior makes sense with enough information.
Exactly. Have some empathy, respect their unique journey, and appreciate your own.
And if you are successful and feel that urge to show it,
maybe focus that energy inward towards the people who matter most. The sources say, show off the inside of your house, not the outside.
Meaning, focus on character, relationships, the things your loved ones value.
Yeah. Because chasing external status, it often just breeds envy in others, not real admiration. Ben Franklin warned about that too. It could be a huge hidden liability.
Okay, so let's leave our listeners with a final thought to chew on. It comes from Stoic philosophy.
The idea that not needing wealth is more valuable than wealth itself.
If happiness is really that state where nothing feels missing, what's the one thing you are currently wanting, desiring, chasing?
That, if you could just stop wanting it right now, would instantly make you feel richer, more content.
Think about closing that gap not just by getting more